Good morning, everybody. Happy already 71 degrees on Thursday. 90 degrees today. Hopefully it stays cloudy though. But today I'm going to say one of the biggest parts of life, and I was talking about this with my buddy yesterday, my buddy Bruce, but it's suffering. We all suffer in this life, and suffering isn't a bad thing. What most people don't understand is you have to suffer your way forward. If you don't suffer, if everything's always all right, if you never get angry and upset, if you never feel stress, you're never going to grow. Growth is on the other side of that struggle. If you never went through your own personal hell multiple times in your life, I have since I was a kid, and I went through fucked up shit my whole life. My life's been crazy fucking roller coaster, mentally, physically, even spiritually, trying to figure out, what I believe. Now I have a good handle on, after 42 years of asking questions and, looking for answers, I have a good ass handle on what I fucking believe, and I can argue that with the smartest fucking religious people or spiritual people on the planet. And then you should never have to argue what you believe with other people. They should just be more accepting of it. And I know I should be too, but I just want people, when I'm arguing with people about religion and stuff, or spirituality, it's all spirituality. It's all a philosophy at the end of the day. It's just, some come from a book, and some come along the way, and some come from both places. Like, that's where mine come from. It comes from experience. But I'm only ever arguing with people to make sure, that they keep an open mind, because a closed mind doesn't grow, and a closed mind really fucking suffers. Hey, I'm also an open book too. I'll tell you whatever you want to ask a question. I'll tell you whatever you want to know about me. I think more people should be like that too, because if you're so closed off and you're so private, well, you're going to suffer that way too, because you create a persona about yourself, and then you have to keep fighting for that. And there's a lot of suffering to be done in, trying to be something you're not, trying to hide everything. Or, some people just don't give a fuck at all. I've told Tanya everything about myself, and, that's not a, 100% a good thing, but hey, I believe in full transparency as a person, and I believe in full transparency on fucking Facebook, social media, and in life, period, with everybody, because everybody that knows me is going to know where I stand. If I'm angry, I'll make a Facebook post about it. I will talk to other people about it. When people say, hey, what's up, Blake? When I see them, I fucking tell them, yeah, this is what's up. Yeah, I'm pissed off. Yeah, I feel awesome. Yeah, hey, had a great day. Yeah, I just got cut off by some cocksucker, and I wanted to rip his head off. You ask someone what's up, be prepared for a fucking answer. That's the funny thing is, though, a lot of people, they don't give you one. They're just like, hey, what's up? And when you tell one of those people, start telling one of those people, some of them would just walk away. All right, cool, I gotta go. Yeah, all right, it's cool. You don't have the mental capacity to understand or give a fuck about what's up. You're just saying hello. Well, just say hello then. Hello. All right, Ranger Rick. Good for you. But again, life is filled with suffering, and there's varying degrees of evil and suffering, and there's also varying degrees of pleasure and peace and happiness on the other side of that suffering. You know, I went through it with depression. You know, you get really low. You know, and I experienced depression massively when I was 18. You know, I experienced the mania first. The first time I got sober, it was the most awesome feeling in the world. You know, I did a lot of crazy shit. Then I ended up suffering for it by, you know, getting caught by the police and getting put in the fucking hospital. And I went in covered in mud thinking I was a Navy SEAL, and that's one of my greatest fucking stories I have to tell. But because I was too loose, Cougar, too loose. I didn't know yet. I didn't know you weren't allowed to be that loose publicly. I didn't know yet. I'm just learning still. But I went to the hospital covered in mud and handcuffs. And, you know, I woke up strapped to a fucking bed. So if you don't have a strapped to the fucking bed story, I suggest you lose your mind at least once. If you don't have a fucking story to tell in your life, you didn't suffer. You know, you didn't do anything. And if you didn't do anything with your life, Jesus Christ, who the fuck even are you? What the fuck are you even doing here? You ever ask yourself what the fuck you're even doing here on this planet? I fucking been asking that question my entire life. And now, at 42 years old, I finally know what the fuck I'm doing here. And I know what my why is. And I know what my purpose is. And it grows every day through that suffering. So, don't be afraid to go through shit. You can't avoid it. You know, you can go around suffering all you want, but guess what? On the other side, there's going to be more suffering. There's going to be more pain. So you just have to choose to go through that suffering. And again, it's not like a cancer suffering necessarily. That is a form of suffering, but it's mental, physical, and on a spiritual level. We're all suffering and going through shit every single day. The littlest thing, like, oh, you stubbed your toe. Oh, damn it. You know, my kid's up there last night saying, oh, my foot hurts. I can't let the dog out. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I think anybody cares that I'm fucking limping most of the time because I ran 1,358 days in a row? You know, or that I'm on my feet all fucking day, you know, and I'm to do the dishes. Yeah, I'll fucking throw the dish through the fucking window. Suffering, man. But again, if you don't choose to suffer, suffering is going to choose you, and then your life is going to be agony. So instead, choose to change, because making a change is choosing to suffer initially, and for however long it takes you to grow and get stronger. And when you grow and get stronger, you can deal with suffering better. You deal with suffering stress easier because you become stronger. You've gained, like Goku, he's rising. The energy is rising. So again, you're still going to go through suffering at every fucking level, just on a different level, in a different way. But there's no avoidance. You're going to suffer. You know, it's not like, you know, the suffering of losing a loved one or something. That's just another form, you know, but a weight loss journey, there's suffering in it. Every single day you have to eat right. Every single day you have to work out. And I can't stand these motherfuckers that say, hey, you know, it's okay to take a break. Motherfucker, if you got 200 pounds to lose, it's not fucking okay to take a break. If your mind is twisted and they say you're crazy, you don't have a fucking day to take a fucking break. There's no rest days for the wicked, man. That's what they say. No rest for the wicked. Because we gotta suffer. If we don't do something about our suffering, we're gonna continue to suffer hard. Or, like I said, we can choose to change, get stronger, and grow. But there's no growth without fucking suffering. There is no peace, because peace is on the other side of suffering. And again, there's varying degrees. It's not just, hey, you're out there eating out of a trash can homeless. It's not, hey, you're a fucking drug addict and you can't get away from it. It's not that, oh, you lost a limb or you're dying. They're all varying degrees of suffering. So today, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna fucking run again and fucking suffer, and it's gonna feel amazing. And then I'm gonna go work in 90-degree heat, doing physical work, physical labor, and we're gonna suffer, but it's gonna feel amazing. Again, if you choose to suffer, it actually feels awesome at the end of the day. So, and after years and years, this is 7 years and 6 months of choosing to suffer, man, is life fucking awesome. I'll tell you what, it keeps testing me often, you know, and then they say the closer, you know, you get to your destination, the more you're going to be tested, you know, the more people are going to fuck with you. It's just a test, man. Just a test, and it's pass or fail. And yesterday, you know, these two fuckheads were fucking with me on the road. I flipped the fuck out on them. But I didn't fail the test completely. When they turned and the motherfucker went like this to me, I was fucking about to cut across all the fucking lanes to go chase them down and cut them off and rip them out of their fucking car. But I passed the test because I went left and I went to fucking work, because that's the fucking test. And every day, that's what life is. It's a test through suffering, and it's pass or fail. So pass the motherfucking test today. Choose to suffer today in your own way. Kick today's ass. Let's go!